hear back in black, you know that it is time for the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff. We do this each and every Wednesday night from 5:30 until 6:30 here at Pasquale's Pizza. We are out on the patio where the breeze is blowing. Temperature is absolutely perfect for early October to be outside enjoying some great pizza and pasta here from Pasquale's and talking about Coleman Bearcat football. We're going to look back at last week's game against Hartselle and look ahead to this week's homecoming game as we host Columbia. I'm joined by head coach Danny Stiff. Coach, thanks for stepping back into Bearcat Den, sir.
Thanks for having me.
How was practice today?
It was a good day. It was a good day. Cut a little bit short. Just trying to get our legs back under us. Physical game last week, so want to make sure we're fresh for this Friday.
Well, let's take a quick look back at last week. We started out, we knew it was going to be a tough game with Hartselle. They came in averaging 48 points a game. We held them to 10. I know a lot of folks are not big on moral victories, but I thought, in my opinion, from upstairs, that was probably our best performance in my eyes of the season. Don't know if you saw it the same way or not.
Yeah, I mean, from an overall execution and team standpoint, I think that since I've been here at Coleman, it was our best football game. Playing a good team. You know, we've played a lot of good teams since we've been here, and that's the first time we've really gone toe-to-toe with them and beat them after for about 3.5 quarters, you know. Just couldn't quite close it out. And you've got to be in a lot of those close games with good teams to kind of learn to close those games out, you know, and learn how to finish those games out. And Hartselle's been there a little more than we have. And a few things didn't go our way at the end of the game, and you know, it came down right there to the end. But I was very proud of how we played and how we came out and started the game, especially, and you know, very proud of the offensive, defensive line, and just the overall defensive performance in general.
We came out, both of us kind of traded punts early, but then we were able to get the football, drive all the way down the field, and go up 7-0 kind of early on. Talk about the first quarter, second quarter of the ball game.
Yeah, you know, started out, when you're playing a defense that's pitched 4 straight shutouts, you know, you kind of want to see how you match up against them. And, you know, hopefully we would be able to move the ball in the run game, which we did, I think, very successfully. Ran the ball very well in that game. And, you know, we've lost field position, a lot of field position battles this year off special teams. So I think Tyler Brock hit a 71-yard punt there early in the game, and that was kind of indicative of the turnaround on a lot of things that we had in that game. So I think that's also the loudest I've ever heard our crowd cheer since I've been here was that 71-yard punt. So they've been feeling the frustrations along with me in the punt game this year. So I was right there with them cheering. So I wanted to give him a hug, but he had to go on defense, so I couldn't get to him. You know,
we were able to flip the field on him a couple of times, especially that one. Talk about what that does for the defense. When we're kind of deep in our territory, we're thinking, okay, they're going to take off, they're going to take over with good field position, and we can flip the field on them like that.
There's nothing worse on defense than starting at the 50-yard line or in. There really isn't, because the room for error is down to 0. So you've got to play perfect in that spot of the field, and most teams get more aggressive once they cross the 50-yard line. So letting a team start there kind of opens up their whole playbook to whatever they want to do, even on first down. It gets them in 4-down territory where they can think about going for it on 4th down, even if you get a stop on 3rd down. So getting a team backed up and you know, kind of playing the field position game, especially in a low-scoring game like that, field position matters more than anything. So that was absolutely huge to get that. And then if you look at our scoring drive, I believe it was the drive that they faked the punt on. So they gave us the ball on our side of the field. So that worked out for us. And, you know, the field position was a huge part of the game, and winning that was a massive deal in how that game was playing out.
We went into the locker room 7-0 at halftime. Talk about attitude in the locker room at the half and kind of your speech and the coach's speech to the players at halftime.
I think our guys were very, very, very fired up at halftime. Almost to the point where you had to calm them down.
Yeah.
They were very excited about how they played in the first half. They were very eager to get back out there on the field. So, you know, my whole message was you kind of got to you can't look at the big picture. You know, you've got to take it one play at a time. Don't think about winning the game and all that stuff. There's a lot of football that goes in between that, the halftime and the end of the game. So it's really about one play at a time, the execution of it, and making sure that we came out and we're still performing at the same level that we were in the first half. And starting on defense is always tough in the second half. So we put a big emphasis on getting a 3-and-out stop, and we went out there and did it.
We pretty much had a scoreless third quarter. In fact, most of the fourth quarter was scoreless as well. I think Hartselle scored with about 5 minutes left to go in the game and tied it at 7. We got the ball back, had a chance, I thought, to drive down and get a field goal or seal the deal. We had to punt the ball back to them, and then they drove right down to our 3. We tried to get them back to the 21 or so.
Yeah.
They ended up kicking a 31-yard field goal.
Yeah, he made
to win
about
the
5
game.
field goals there at the end. I think he made all 5. Only one of them counted, but we kept making him kick them. You know, whether it was they got a penalty and they'd kick one. I froze the kicker twice and he kicked them.
Yeah.
So I thought eventually, just statistically, the numbers got to run out there where he doesn't make one, but he did. But no, it was it was very. We did a good job driving the ball on offense all night, and there was, I think we went a 3-and-out there. It might have been the into the fourth quarter, and it was kind of a tipping point for our defense. We came back on the field. We weren't near as fresh, and had a penalty. We actually got a stop. We had a penalty on a punt procedure. They did a little shifting. They had their offense out there, then they shifted them off the field real quick. One of us jumped off sides and gave him a first down. We actually had a stop there, and then after that, there was a little bit of a tipping point on just fatigue of the game playing out. It was actually, I think we played 75 plays on defense, which is a lot, and it was hot out there, hotter than it normally is this time of year, and I think it was just a tipping point on defense where I felt like we lost a little bit of our edge that we had all night, and we had we played great on the defensive side of the football. Honestly, we protected the deep ball. Which is one thing I was really concerned about, is them taking shots on us, especially in our base coverage. And they do a lot of that on first down to get you in base coverage. So we protected that, especially on first down. And the front did a great job stopping the run, because we were about one short in the box, and they were still stopping them. So once I was comfortable with us stopping those guys in the run and being one short in the box, and knowing our D-line was kind of dominating their offensive line, it makes defense very easy and put us in a pretty good comfort zone. And then offensively, we were running the ball on them all night, which is what we needed to do. So, a lot of positives to take from it. I don't believe in moral victories either. I'd rather take the victory. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But there was a lot to take from that, and I told our team that this is either the point where it's a tipping point for us, where either we've peaked or this is kind of our launching pad. So hopefully that's not our peak for this team, and that was our launching pad into some better football.
Well, and we still kind of control our own destiny. We've got 2 region games left. We win the 2 region games, we earn a playoff spot, and that's kind of the goal at the beginning of every season, I know.
Yeah, and this week is really, if we win this week, I think we're in the playoffs, because we would have the tie over Jasper. So a win this week basically puts us in. So as long as we can go out there and take care of business these next 2 weeks, then we got a good rival in Decatur next week. So, it's region football, so you're looking to win all these. You can.
Columbia will be in town on Friday night. A lot of coaches do not like homecoming week because of all the distractions and all the outside festivities and things going on. How have you been able to control the guys with all the outside activities going on this week?
Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't want to hear about it.
Yep.
Don't care about it. They can do that on their own time. It's just another week for me. I really don't even know.
Yeah.
Besides, the only difference for me is I got to referee the Powder Puff game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So that's about it. Other than that, I don't care about the other stuff, and I don't want to hear about it. Don't want to see it being a distraction. I think they go about their business, so they worry about that on their own time. But I'm not worried about none of that.
Yeah. We're at Pasquale's Pizza on Highway 31 in Coleman. It is the Bearcat Den, live on Coleman's Live 95 and on Facebook as well on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page. The buffet is on the inside, nice and comfortable out here on the patio, too. If you haven't had dinner yet on your way home from work before church, you can swing by and join us here at Pasquale's Pizza in the Bearcat Den. Coming up momentarily, we'll be joined by Coach Gleaton and Coach Hopper. They'll step in the Bearcat Den here as we continue to look back at last week's heartbreaking loss in the final 3 seconds to Hartselle and look ahead to Columbia and homecoming this coming Friday night here at Oliver Woodard Stadium. We are in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza. Back in a moment. Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear. Region action heats up this week as Fairview hosts Priceville and Hamilton comes to Good Hope. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app. Coleman County High School football on Coleman's own Live 95. Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95. In today's world, broadband internet is an absolute necessity. Unfortunately, the large cable and phone companies only provide broadband internet where it's profitable for them. For the rest of us, there's Cyber Broadband. Providing internet service since 2004, Cyber utilizes a small radio antenna to deliver broadband where cable and DSL don't go. You can join the 21st century today with Cyber Broadband, supporting streaming, VPN access, and everything else you've been wanting to do with that slow internet connection. It's Cyber Broadband for the win. They can be found online at cyberbroadband.net or look them up on Facebook. At Plus One Heating and Air, we believe in more than just fixing your HVAC system. Our team of skilled technicians is dedicated to providing top-notch service with a smile. Whether it's installation, repairs, or maintenance, you can trust Plus One Heating and Air to get the job done right the first time.
I've never experienced service like this before. Plus One Heating and Air not only fixed my heating system promptly, they also ensured everything was running smoothly. They truly care about their customers.
So when you're in need of heating and air services, remember the company that's willing to walk that extra mile for you. Plus One Heating and Air, where trust meets exceptional service.
Check it out now. The heat of the moment. We could have had it right. Life in the fast lane. 'Cause I'd already.
Live. I'm sorry, is that funny? Are you stand-up comic? Is that what you do now?
95.5.
Coleman's Live 95. Welcome back into the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95.5's Facebook page as well. Hello to all of you out there in video land. We will have the Bearcat Den uploaded to the Coleman's Live 95's YouTube channel later on tonight. I'm Tommy Warhurst, joined by Coleman head coach Danny Stiff and offensive coordinator Coach Kenny Gleaton. Coach, thanks for stepping in the Bearcat Den, sir.
Oh, glad to be here.
First off, how are you?
I'm doing better. I mean, we still battle through the day-to-day, but you know we're trying to manage best we can, and you know, administrative been really supportive, and you know, community has, and you know, all the coaches, we kind of bonded together. You know, we're all feel real fortunate to have every day with these kids right now. Yeah. That's the big thing.
For those of you that may not know, they were, correct me if I'm wrong, coming back from a camp or a coach's session and were involved in a bad car wreck. And
yeah, we were in a OTA with Gadsden City coming back from Gadsden, and they got hit by an 18-wheeler in the rain over there, and God, it was a scary, bad deal. So I'm glad everybody's okay as they can be. I mean, they're conscious out here. You know what I mean? I know there's some pains and ailments going on that they're going to have to deal with, but I don't know what I would have done without them, and I'm sure their families feel just more fortunate than even I do. I'm just glad they're healthy and somewhat healthy at least, and can be out here with us.
Coach, we visited with Coach Stiff. We visited with players throughout the season and kind of got them to reflect back. It's hard to believe that we're going into week 8 of the season. And since it's your first time out here, Coach Gleaton, I want to give you an opportunity just to kind of reflect back on the first 7 weeks of the season.
Well, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, we've played some really high-quality football teams, starting really, even from the first jamboree, really, with Northridge. They were very talented, good program, and, it's helped us. I mean, it helped us, obviously, showed in the game last Friday with Hartsville that basically your record sometimes doesn't necessarily reflect how good of a team you are and how important those kind of games can be, really. I mean, blowouts, really you don't learn a lot from those. It's those close games, and, being in the Jasper City game definitely helped us in that one Friday night. And, I just kind of felt like the whole time it was just any second that that ball was going to roll our way and bounce our way, and guys are going to make a play because they've been there, and they've been in those kind of games. And, hats off to Hartsville right there at the end. They made some key plays that they had to, and, and we were close, but, that's what good football teams and good games are really about. It comes down really at the end, 1 or 2 key plays.
Coach Hopper, thanks for joining us in the Bearcat Den, sir. I was getting Coach Gleaton to kind of reflect back. It's hard to believe we're going into week 8 already in the season, but I'll give you the same opportunity, sir. Just kind of reflect back on the first 7 weeks of the season.
It's been a quick season, it seems like. I can't believe that we're already here week going into week 8, but it's been a good year. I think we've matured a lot better, gotten a lot better as the year progressed. I think on both sides of the ball, special teams. I think from week 1 against Bob Jones to where we are now, we've become a lot better, and we've been tested a lot. I think early in the year, especially starting off with the Bob Jones and going to Athens and Jasper and playing some big games like that is going to help us down the stretch
for sure. Last week, we welcomed in a Hartsville team that was averaging 48 points a game. We were able to hold them to 10. I thought that said a lot about our defense. They're only giving up 7 points a game. We fit that. We had a few opportunities that we missed. But talk a little bit about last week in Hartsville.
Yeah, I mean, Hartsville's a good football team. We knew that going in. Obviously, they're scoring a lot of points. And they're a big play team. They're going to run the football. That's what the Hartsville does. And we knew if we could control the run and force them, to have to throw the football and take away the shots, we'll have a chance in the fourth quarter to win the football game. And that's what we did. I mean, I thought we dominated the box. I thought we stopped the run, and we limited the big plays. And we kind of gave them the, 5 to 7 yard hitches and made them drive the field. And they made 1 or 2 more plays than we did at the end of the game. The quarterback, hats off to them, made the throw on 4th down, and the receivers made the catches. And but I thought our kids played extremely hard, extremely well, had a good week of practice, preparation, and, looking forward to playing them again.
Coach Gleaton, you've got a pretty good offensive bunch. You've got a pretty good offensive line. You've got some talent out on the edges, and you've got running backs that can go from the big bruiser there in Lofton to the speed of Pro Logo or the speed of Weston Keel there. Talk a little bit about some of the guys you've got on your offense.
Well, I mean, as you mentioned, all of those guys, and really having a quarterback like Preston Gay and that can, make some throws, and also he can do it with his feet. I mean, for a defense, they've got a lot to get ready for, and a lot of things to think about. And I feel like we've done a real good job this year, and our kids have bought into the system of trying to be a lot more multiple and moving people around receivers, and everybody kind of playing a role because one of the things we did Friday night with Hartsville is rolled a lot of different personnel groupings and changed tempos against them, and the kids did a really good job of buying into it and taking that responsibility, because it's a lot on them. I mean, like it's a lot on me as a play caller trying to keep up with it, and really a lot for them to process and make sure everybody gets blocked and everybody gets lined up first. I mean, that's a hats off to them, and really being able to execute that game plan Friday night pretty well. I mean, it just came down to they were exactly what we thought Hartsville was. I mean, they had 4 shutouts this year for a reason. It doesn't matter who you're playing, to shut people out says a lot. And our kids did a really good job of keeping a defense that is really stingy kind of off balance a little bit, and kind of playing on their heels there for definitely 3 quarters for sure. We kind of had them there, and I think just the speed of the game and just the awareness of the game, they kind of got more prepared for it as the game went on. But we had a chance right there at the end. It just like I said, hats off to them. I mean, they made their kids kept playing hard. I mean, you go back and you watch it on film, and I mean, their guys were playing off blocks. I mean, right before that 4th quarter started, their linebacker ran into one of the officials on like a mesh concept, and he got up and made a tackle on Preston. Just most kids lay on the ground. But, their kid, hats off, he jumped up, and luckily he was in the right place at the right time with the right attitude. And that made a difference in the game, Bob.
Talk about your relationship with Coach Campbell. You guys have worked together here for a long time. He's on the field. You're up in the box. How do you two guys mesh in play calling and running the offense?
Well, for years he was the buffer between me and Coach Britton.
Okay.
So for a lot of times,
Coach Britton didn't wear a headset.
Yeah. So for a lot of years, Ty got to take all the kidney shots.
Yeah.
he got to take a lot of them. So that kind of probably built a big bond there for a while. But I mean, we've all kind of been together long enough, and we kind of know how each other ticks and how we think, and knowing the offense like we all do. And that, we kind of had to do that last year. Me and I remember it was probably about week 3 or 4 last year. I had to look at all those guys and say, hey, look, this is we got to remind ourselves this is year 1 or 2 for these guys, where for us it was like year 18.
Yeah,
we'd all been together. Like we know that offense a lot better than they do, and not try to just go back to the way we used to always do it. I had to kind of slow it down a little bit and kind of minimize a little bit. And I think that's one of the things that I think we did a good job of last year. And I think right now, we try to keep it where it doesn't get too much, but sometimes it's hard to. I mean, you play good defenses, it makes it tough to try to keep it simple for them. I mean, good defenses make it difficult to do that.
I know a lot of people come in and they script their opening series, first half, second half. They know some things that they want to do. Once you get past that, are you looking more of a gut feel of what to play call next versus what they've done before? Kind of walk us through your thought process there.
Yeah, I mean, we always kind of have an opening script, and I kind of script all of our situational down distances by field position, and like everybody does. But definitely as the game goes and you start getting into the flow of what's working for you and how they are, like last week, Hartsville started doing some stuff in the 3rd quarter that we haven't seen them do all year, and we had to kind of make a few adjustments, and kids did a good job of, we just kind of, sometimes it's calling by feel, but the technology that's involved in the game today that we didn't have 10 years ago makes a big difference, because used to you would come back and you'd see it at 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Now you see it in the 2nd quarter. Now you're seeing it really soon, so it gives you an opportunity to adjust and go with the flow of how the game is going, and how your players are playing. A lot of times, allows you. It's so important of having good coaches and having smart kids where you can make adjustments. I mean, that's the biggest thing now that really where the game's transpired to today.
Coach Hopper, speaking of that technology, sir, way back in the day, we could come to the sideline and talk about what we would tell coaches what they're doing out there. They tell us what they're seeing from down below. We would watch film on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock after working out. Now, though, you guys can get right to the sideline and watch it right there. Talk about that and how that plays into the game.
Oh, yeah, just from, I guess, the last probably 10 or 15 years, how far technology has come from football. Like, I guess when I started getting into coaching my first few years, I think we had a whiteboard on the sidelines, and that about wrapped it up. That's about as technology savvy as we were back then. But now, like I said, we live streaming on Huddle, and we have a tent set up with a huge television underneath there, and we can come right to it. We have some chairs laid out for the kids underneath the tent, and they come right in, sit down, and we pull up the series, and we can watch the side view and a rear shot of it also, so we kind of know blocking schemes, what they're trying to do, motions and formations, and making sure we're getting lined up correctly, and how we're fitting the run, make sure we're fitting it correctly. And if we give them a big play, we go right to that play, and where did we go wrong? What was the problem? What was the miscommunication? And it's very beneficial. It really is.
Yeah.
As far as making in-game adjustments now compared to what it was 10 or 15 years ago, it's a big change.
Yeah. Coach Stiff, there are a lot of people behind the scenes that make those things happen, and we haven't got to talk about those people this year. To take a moment and talk about the people who make all the videos happen for your staff.
Yeah, Spencer Allen's a big part of that. He's got a lot to manage on game day, because not only does he have to handle all of our sideline and technology, but he also does the live stream, and he handles our practice day in and day out from a filming standpoint. So he does about 5 jobs in one.
Yeah.
So it's very valuable. It was John Drake last year, and we had Spencer and John, and now it's just Spencer since John's retired, and it puts a lot on him. And he's done a good job getting that for us. And we've had games where it's rained 6 inches, during the game
Yeah.
too. I remember at one point him telling me, "Well, I think the camera flooded out," and I think that was Jasper game. So there's a lot to manage, and it's one of those thankless jobs that nobody. It's like being a long snapper or holder. Nobody realizes it or says anything to you until it's screwed up.
Yeah.
So it's good that we have somebody like that, because I don't know how to work that stuff, and I'm sure none of these other coaches do either. So we'd be out of luck without him.
Yep. We're in the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza on Highway 31 here in Coleman. Still plenty of time for you to come by and enjoy the buffet before you get to church later on tonight. You can come by and visit with coaches and players and fans here at Pasquale's Pizza. We're live on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page as well. More with Coach Gleaton, Coach Hopper, and Coach Stiff coming up here on the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95.
We have one of the coolest places right here in Coleman. It's Cleaning and More Coleman on County Road 437. Cleaning and More Coleman has reliable and professional residential and commercial cleaning services tailored to your needs. And I know because we use Cleaning and More Coleman at the Warhurst Team Realtors for our buyers and sellers. Cleaning and More Coleman is more than just cleaning supplies. They have janitorial supplies like trash can liners of all sizes, cleaning supplies, mops, brooms, paper towels, they have it all. Plus concession stand and restaurant supplies like cups, cutleries, plates, to-go containers, bags, straws, nacho trays, even popcorn bags. Cleaning and More Coleman has it all. Need climate control storage? How about 10 by 10, 10 by 15, and 10 by 20 units? And they even have the U-Haul trucks to carry your stuff. You can check them out at cleaningandmorecoleman.com. You can get info at info@cleaningandmorecoleman.com. Or the way I like, you can dial them up at 256-736-9944. 256-736-9944. Cleaning and More Coleman. County Road 437. Under the big white sign with the U-Hauls.
So I'd been battling depression for quite a while, and I tried different medications, and it would get better, but then they would start to taper off. And I would fall back into those feelings of apathy, worthlessness, and not wanting to do anything. After TMS, I wake up every day energized and ready to take on the day.
We started SoundMind TMS to provide treatments for depression and anxiety that really work. We'd love for you to come to the office for consultation to see if TMS may save your life.
SoundMind TMS, 256-735-9475. Or for more information, you can visit our website, soundmindtms.com.
In the game of mortgages, experience matters. Meet Josh Phillips, a veteran with over 13 years in the mortgage industry. As a leader in the local mortgage community, Josh is more than just a lender. He's a partner who believes in making an impact. At Impact Mortgage Group, they're not just making mortgages, they're making a positive impact on borrowers and our community. You can experience the difference too with Josh Phillips at Impact Mortgage Group.
I'm Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group. You can reach me at 256-338-2920, and I'll show you how my experience can help impact your next home purchase.
In MLS number 338177. Are you ready to make your next move in Coleman? Hi, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Angela. We're not just realtors, we're a family dedicated to helping yours.
We're not just about buying or selling property. We're about building connections within our community.
From local schools to charity events, we're active because we care about Coleman.
When you use us, you're not just getting one realtor, you're getting a team working around the clock for you.
With our experience and expertise, we'll guide you through every step of the process.
We're the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group.
We make it happen, you make it home.
Live 95.5.
I think it's great, man.
Coleman's Live 95.
Beautiful.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Highway 31 in Coleman. Got the buffet on the inside. We're outside on the patio where the temperature is absolutely perfect. I'm Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, Coach Gleaton, and Coach Hopper in the Bearcat Den with us as well. We're looking back at last week's heartbreaking loss in the final 3 seconds to Hartselle. And in a moment, we're going to move ahead and talk about the homecoming game this coming week as we welcome in the Eagles from Columbia. A couple of things, Coach Stiff, looking back at last week, too. We touched on it some, but defensively, I really felt like, from my perspective, that was probably the best effort that we'd had defensively wise in the season against a good football team. Yeah, we shut out Brewer, but Brewer and Hartselle are two different football teams. Talk about some things we might have done differently.
Well, we played a lot of coverage on the back end, meaning we were protecting, like Coach Hopper said, protecting the deep shot. So we were playing some post safety, cover 3 type defenses. And then also we double covered their big receiver a lot. And they actually, I think we double covered him eight or 10 times that we had him doubled, and they threw to him 6 out of those. So, we were doing a good job not only with the coverages, but also disguising the coverages where pre-snap he didn't know what we were in, and then at post-snap it would be different. And it really makes you have to process as a quarterback when you see stuff like that. And then you can't do that, though, without the front dominating. Sometimes you're down a gap when you do that, and then when they run the quarterback, sometimes you're down 2 gaps when you do that. So to be able to stop the run and play that on the back end is going to lead to a lot of success on defense as long as you're executing at a high level. And our guys were about as focused as I've ever seen at making sure they were doing their job and their responsibility. And, so the combination of all those things together leads to a pretty good night on defense when you can kind of you break a lot of your own tendencies.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, scratching for different stuff as the play callers. And then to be able to execute that at a high level. I mean, we installed a new coverage last week, and it was a combination really of 2 coverages we run, but it was checked off the formation. And, our kids picked it up, instantly. I was shocked. I thought for sure we're going to bust this at least for a day and then pick it up as the week goes on. But we picked it up pretty instantly, and I don't think we ever really busted it. So, the focus and the attention from the kids, and then, the coaches did a great job, too, during the game, because I don't ever get to go watch film. So they kind of have to communicate with me about what they're seeing and what's going on the film, because I don't get the luxury to watch that because I got to go by the offense. That's where most of the game management, the timeouts, and all that stuff come in. So, I think it was a good flow from the defensive coaching staff standpoint, communication with the players, and then it's just an overall team effort from coaches down to players as to why we could execute at such a high level. And then offensively, I thought we had a really good game plan for them. We executed it very well. And then we did some things like the muddle huddle, which, you can go back to Coach Saban playing Michigan last year. He talked about how hard that was when teams start the huddle now because you're so used to calling off formations.
Right.
Most teams and how they call their offense is they'll call a formation, and then they'll line up in the formation, then they kind of give the play. So as a defensive play caller, you've got a lot of time to see what that formation is and attack it exactly how you want to. Now, it's hard to do against Kenny sometimes, I can tell you from practice, because he'll motion a guy somewhere and it'll be a different formation by the time they get that motioning. But doing that out of the huddle, it allows you as an offense to see more generic looks on the defensive side. It's either that or they're gambling more on the defensive side. So it really puts the control in your hands. And I thought Coach Gleaton did a great job with that last week and kind of attacking them that way. And I think offensively and defensively, if you looked to the other side of the field, they were kind of off whack as coaches from what they normally do, from either what we were doing or how we were doing it, you know. And that's tough. When you get it and you feel uncomfortable as a coach, you know, you're not in your comfort zone. You're not going to, you know, be as sharp as you normally are. You know, you start reaching for things, and that's what we wanted, and that's what we got done.
We're in the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95, WRJM-LP, Coleman, Alabama. I'm Tommy Warhurst, alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, Coach Gleaton, and Coach Hopper. Gentlemen, Columbia comes in town this week for homecoming. They're struggling. They've struggled for several years. They're 0-6 on the season so far. They are allowing 57 points a game and only putting up 9 points a game. But they do look dangerous at spots. Quarterback looks like he's very elusive. Talk a little bit about preparation for that.
I told our guys there's probably 20 guys they got on our team that could outrun our fastest player.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. They've got good athletes, which is always something, especially, you know, for us, it's a scary deal. I do not like seeing a bunch of fast guys out there. Now, their execution isn't at the highest level, but a team like that's always dangerous. And I think only Hartzell has shut them out.
Yeah.
Has held them to no points. So, you know, the goal is to keep everything in front of us, make them execute, and make them do it consistently on the offensive side. And then defensively, you know, they got some big old dudes over there that can run and are athletic. And, you know, so you still got to be on your game. It's not just a throwaway. And you want to make sure you play at a high level. And the good thing about these guys is because they are 0-6, and I don't know what their record's been for the last 3 or 4 years, but they're not used to winning. So if you can get them in a place to where, you know, it's the same old, if you can get up on them and you know, kind of suffocate them a little bit, they're going to go to what they normally do. And, you know, hopefully at that point, that's when you really take over the game is, you know, when they kind of see that the game's going away from them.
Right.
And it kind of takes the energy and emotion out of them. If you keep a team like this in the game, they're gonna pick their level up as the game goes on. So you can't let them hang around. You got to kind of put them away when you can and you get off to a fast start and make sure you get control of the game early because, you know, teams like this, once they get into a game, they can get a little momentum going and maybe start executing at a higher level.
They do have some athletes for sure. You talked about the speed. One guy that stood out to me in watching film on him this week was their tackle number 71. That guy looks like a pretty good athlete, Coach Hopper.
Yes, he is. We watched him on film this morning, and like I said, he's probably 6'5", 315 probably, and he's got a good feet. I mean, he moves well.
He's a sophomore.
Yes, that's the thing about him. He's young.
Yeah.
He's young.
Can we find his parents a job here in Coleman? 100%.
Yeah, in a second. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, they're like I said, like they've got explosive players, and they throw a ball out there, a 5-yard hitch, and we miss a tackle. We're not going to catch those guys,
yeah.
and our kids got to understand that. You know, they've got. Today in film, I told them, hey, that guy's faster than you are. Whoever you are in this room, he is faster than. And there's clips, and they show signs of explosiveness. Like I said, they're on film. They've got plenty of plays where guys missed a tackle, and they're getting 35, 40-yard gains because they got that elite speed that we don't have. So as far as defensive standpoint, you got to keep everything in front and be great tacklers and be on the same page. And you worry about reverses and double passes and screens and goes and all those kind of trick plays that if they get a guy loose, we're not going to catch them.
Yeah. They want to try to get the ball to the outside to some of their speed receivers, it looks like. But the quarterback, he won't sit in the pocket too long. If he gets any kind of pressure, he's going to scramble. And he's elusive from what I've seen. Talk about him, his speed, and the angles that we've got to take. To make sure and corral him.
That's what I noticed today. Like during film, I told our linebackers, a lot of times they'll motion backs out to get an empty to try to get you to vacate a linebacker, and they're going to run some kind of quarterback draw, quarterback power, and to get him in space. And I told our linebackers today, we got to be on high alert when they motion to empty. That we're thinking in our minds it's quarterback draw.
Yeah.
And we got to do a great job of corralling him and making him go east and west, because if he goes north and south, we got problems. So we're going to try to do a good job up front with our rush lanes and passing situations. That's something we kind of struggled with earlier in the year, is holding our rush lanes and quarterbacks taking off on us. So, especially when you're playing a lot of man coverage and stuff like that, that's what you kind of get worried. People are running with their backs to the quarterback, and you got an elusive quarterback like that. It stresses the defense out a lot.
Coach Gleaton, defensively, they've given up some big plays. They're kind of porous in the secondary and can be on the offensive line. Talk about our game plan going into attacking their defense.
Well, I mean, they like to play a lot of man coverage. I mean, that's one thing, and they did that against us last year, trying to +1 us in the box, in the run game. When a team like that does that, you've got to, obviously throw on time. You're not going to have an enormous amount of time, especially if they decide they want to come after you and bring pressure. But at the same time, if they do at times in long yardage, they'll like to play man too free, and you should be able to run the football right there. You just got to be able to make blocks, and you obviously, as Coach Steele's saying, I mean, they've got speed everywhere, and if you let a guy penetrate, they can run around blocks and make tackles. I mean, you got to be on all cylinders, and you can't be turning the football over against them, because you don't want to give them opportunities to keep playing hard. That's the biggest thing, is because a team like that's only dangerous when they get momentum, and then it's hard to stop sometimes.
People only have to look back to last weekend in Nashville to know that.
Exactly.
And in talking about our potential to have some big plays and the defense that you've seen from them, talk about some of the guys you expect. If we do what we're supposed to do and take care of ourselves as the Coleman Bearcats, talk about some guys who can have a big night.
Well, I definitely expect another night. Running backs ought to have a good night against them. I mean, because, from a standpoint of, if they're playing man coverage, other than just in the run game, you're going to have some issues where you're going to have backs locked up, and you're going to have tight ends locked up on linebackers at times. And definitely with those in the quarterback standpoint, with Preston and with his running abilities, that's really dangerous playing man coverage against that, because now, if he reads zone correctly, or if we get him out on the perimeter, they don't ever man up with a quarterback. Unfortunately, a lot of defenses they'll man with a lot of people, but if they can, but they won't have deep safeties when they do that. That's the difference. So that's kind of what we hope, is in that standpoint that our guys do a good job protecting them. Stop penetration, obviously, and we can't turn the football over. If we do those things, we should be good. That's really with any game, though, right? Turn the ball over.
How many times have we worked on kickoff coverages and staying in your lanes going up against this bunch?
Yeah, I mean, they've returned a kickoff for a touchdown, I think, against Decatur.
Against Decatur. And
it might honestly be, one of their more explosive plays, because they just get them straight into their guys' hands. All they got to do is get in a couple people's way. And the most dangerous kickoff returners, people think it's so scheme-related on kickoff return, but even on the greatest teams I've been on, I've never seen a kickoff return where the returner didn't have to make one guy miss at least, or make one guy miss a tackle. So when you have dangerous athletes back there that are obviously more athletic than you are, that's always a scary thing, is kickoff return. And then as a kickoff team, I told our guys they better not be doing this too much, but when they kick the ball all over the yard, there's no consistency to where they kick it. They literally will just kick it everywhere. That's another dangerous thing, because you got everybody on your kickoff return team's got to be ready to field a ball and kind of adjust to the returns too. So special teams are always big, and in a game like this, you hope it's an advantage, but you've got to make it one, and you got to be on your P's and Q's there.
Against Decatur, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and they gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. So we have an opportunity for that as well.
Yeah, I'll take a kickoff return for a touchdown. I don't think we've had one since I've been here. I know we've had a punt last year for a touchdown, but I don't believe we've had a kickoff return. So we've gotten close a couple times, and we've gotten good field position at a kickoff return. But I'll take a touchdown off one. That'd be some nice quick points. I'd take it.
In the Bearcat Den at Pasquale's Pizza, Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, Coach Gleaton, and Coach Hopper. We'll take a quick break and come right back, talk a little bit more about Coleman Bearcat football. It's homecoming week. Columbia's in town this week. Back in a moment.
In 1952, 7 men at an aluminum plant banded together and started Lister Hill Credit Union with only $5 each. Today, more than 92,000 have joined us, continuing the legacy of supporting themselves and the community through Lister Hill. It's all about we and what we can do together.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Tisha Brewer right here in Coleman could switch you over and you could start saving today. Tisha and her team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Tisha Brewer, it's easy to switch and save.
I'm Tisha at Tisha Brewer State Farm. We're located behind Cook's Pest Control at 909 Fisher Street. You can reach us at 256-734-4645. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Coleman Electric Cooperative's mission is to make life better in the communities we serve. That starts by providing reliable, affordable electricity, while our Sprout Fiber Internet service delivers blazing fast broadband internet to homes, schools, and businesses. Coleman Electric Cooperative is a proud supporter of student athletes, cheerleaders, and band members who work hard every day to make their families and community proud. Coleman Electric Cooperative and Sprout Fiber Internet, powerful connections, brighter future.
Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95, is your home for Friday Night Live. Nobody covers more high school football in Coleman County than Coleman Community Radio, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Go to your favorite app store and download the Coleman's Live 95.5 app. Then select the channel of the game you want to hear. Region action heats up this week as Fairview hosts Priceville and Hamilton comes to Good Hope. Visit live95coleman.com for more information on channel assignments, this week's schedule, and to grab our mobile app. Coleman County High School football on Coleman's own Live 95. Friday Night Live is brought to you in part by Cyber Broadband, Plus One Heating and Air, Cleaning and More Coleman, Josh Phillips of Impact Mortgage Group, Merchants Bank, Coleman Electric Co-op, Tisha Brewer of State Farm, Coleman Savings Bank, Adam Aker of Mitch Smith Chevrolet, Coleman Appliance Repair, Odin's Auto Glass, Lister Hill Credit Union, 212 Insurance, H&S Appliance, Guthrie's Automotive, Denton Seamless Gutters, Hagamore Heating and Air, and the Warhurst Team Realtors at Hagamore Realty Group. Friday Night Live on the Coleman County Sports Network, powered by Coleman's Live 95. Coleman's Live 95.
Live. 95.5.
Welcome back into the Bearcat Den, live from Pasquale's Pizza here on Coleman's Live 95 and on Coleman's Live 95's Facebook page as well. We will upload tonight's Bearcat Den to the Coleman's Live 95's YouTube channel later on this evening. Welcome back into the Bearcat Den. Tommy Warhurst alongside Coleman head coach Danny Stiff, Coach Gleaton, and Coach Hopper. Gentlemen, any other thoughts or comments on Columbia before we move to a different subject? Or even Hartselle, for that matter.
I think once you lose a game like that, you're ready to get back out there and just play some football again.
No doubt. I mean, even the kids kind of are. Big thing this week has kind of been echoing to them about, our biggest enemy can't be us.
Right.
Can't be us. That's this week moving forward. And, just from this point on, we've got to be. We just got to have one opponent.
And talk a little bit more about that, Coach Hopper. The attitude this week in practice, coming off an emotional loss like that, a rivalry loss going into homecoming week, may be good that we've got Columbia this week before we go to Decatur.
It does. I mean, that's the thing about football. Like in baseball or basketball, you get beat, and hey, you turn around and play the next day. In football, you got to kind of sit around for 7 days and dwell on it. And I think our kids are. I think they want to get back on the field and play a game and win a game. And so it's been a good week. Like I said, not downplaying Columbia by any means, but we've taken this time to get some guys healthy this week and kind of dial back a little bit. It's that time of year where, people are going to have some bumps and bruises, some injuries are going to occur, and so it's going to come at a good time to kind of dial back a little bit what we're doing with the physicality standpoint. But I think our kids are, they're excited about playing the game, and obviously it's homecoming, and that's a big thing at Coleman. So our kids, they'll be ready to go.
About time for Dumas to get his cast off yet?
Golly, I think it's been on there for 2 years, I think.
Yeah. We've asked the players each and every week. We've asked Coach Stiff, so now it's your turn, gentlemen. Coach Gleaton, I'll start with you, sir. Most embarrassing moment on a football field?
Oh, on a football field?
Either as a player or a coach, or you can give us both.
Oh, Lord. I don't know. It's been a long time. I've been around this profession since I was in diapers, just about. So. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Probably, I don't know, probably what we were talking about a minute ago. I guess my first year back in Coleman, probably, we were playing Irwin at the time, Center Point now, and we were up, and it was a close game. I think John Nyquist had kicked a field goal to take the lead, and Tyler Caldwell was in his sophomore years, and back then we were calling pretty much everything off the wristbands. It was one of the things why I've kind of gotten away from them for the most part. But we're in the middle of that game trying to run the clock out, and we have the snap. And next thing I know, here comes a backside slant thrown, and I mean, they're playing man-free coverage, the guy's inside leverage, and I mean, it just barely comes off his fingertips, picking it and taking it to the house.
Yeah.
Coach Britton looks at me like he's burning coals through me almost. I said, don't look at me, look at him.
Yeah.
He looked at the wrong play. I didn't call that. That was the first, I guess, embarrassing moment where you go, I think the quote from, like we all had clown hair on, I think was the comment. But, I mean, you kind of felt that way, and it's pretty embarrassing. But, that's kind of the growing pains in this profession you learn through sometimes, and definitely the danger of playing with wristbands.
Coach Hopper, you've had a chance to think on the question, sir. Same question to you.
I've had plenty of them, but I guess mine would probably be at Irwin also. I guess Coach Gleaton and I were in the press box, and it was early on in the game, and they threw a ball out in the flats, and we made a good tackle, and the ball came out, and we scooped it up and ran it down to about the 3-yard line, and when we knocked the ball out, I jumped up out of my seat. When I did, I ripped all the headsets out from the wall. So we're back on offense, and Coach Campbell's down there wanting to play from Coach Gleaton, and we can't communicate with the sidelines. I've already ripped all the headsets, all the plug-ins from the wall.
Yep.
And I don't know how we got the play calling. I think Todd just called. I think we went into Bearcats and just ran some power right, and
I think I signaled it from the window.
I think you might have.
We were at home.
I think we might have, but it worked out. But
yep. I've got a memory from Irwin High School. It wasn't an embarrassing moment, but back when it was still Irwin High School, back there behind the old Irwin High School there in Center Point, I was doing games at a radio station in Birmingham, and this was way before Skype, way before cell phone service back then. I ran a phone line from the visiting side press box all the way down behind the bleachers into the back of the field house there on the end of the stadium. That's how we would hook up and do ball games in Alexandria years ago. I was doing Deschler High School in Alexandria in the playoffs. The phone company didn't hook up our phone line in the press box. I had no way to get the game back. I go outside, I find a big AT&T box, I get into it, I'm trying to find open lines, I plug into one, get it back in my field house. About a week later, we're at the radio station in the Shoals. Somebody calls and says, hey, I'm just calling because I had a 3-hour long-distance phone call from my phone number to this number. It just so happened they weren't home, didn't pick up their phone, but there's who we tapped into. We paid their bill. But a lot of experiences over the years. I've been doing this since 1989. Some kind of broadcasting of a football game or some sort in there, doing some kind of announcing. So a lot of fun memories and times too, just like you guys have had as well. I appreciate you coming into the Bearcat Den this afternoon. Coach Hopper, real quick, your thoughts on what it's going to take for us to get a win Friday night.
I think as kids stay focused, there's a lot of distractions, obviously homecoming week and all that going on. And it's good for the kids. They need to enjoy homecoming week. They need to go out and do stuff and go to the Powder Puff game and do all their activities. I mean, that's part of being in high school. just be focused and come out. A lot of coaches say, it's how you finish, but with us, I think a lot of it is how you start. Yeah. I mean, I think we start fast, and if we get go on a long drive and score, and we get a stop on defense, I think our kids just play better. I think it settles everyone down. I think then the offense has confidence and the defense has confidence, and I think we feed off each other.
And they get back to having fun.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Coach Gleaton, question to you, sir. How do you want us to start? How do you want your offense to come out and set the tone?
Well, I mean, we really need to do a good job of staying focused, and not being somewhere else. I mean, the big thing you're just kind of saying, and I kind of always tell them, for a game, don't forget why you're out here playing this game, practicing every day. It's for the love of it. Yeah. It's why we all coach. It's why most of them play. But at the same time, in a game like this, with all the distractions that go on with homecoming, I've been here long enough. There's plenty of them. A lot of activities going on, but at the end of the day, most everybody's coming to the football game Friday night to watch the game.
Yeah.
All right, and then they'll watch the band at halftime. But it's about the football game. It's not about the homecoming activities. It's not about a dance. It's not about all that stuff's part of the game. But we got to play the game. We need to stay focused on our part of it. And if we take care of what our job is, then we'll have a good night.
Coach Stiff commented earlier that after Tyler Brock's 71-yard punt last week, that's the loudest he'd heard our crowd. I do what I can to try to get them going up there in the press box, talking to them. But talk about what that means for the guys on the field and what we need in the stands Friday night.
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, last week was the first time you could really feel the effects of the crowd. I think it kept our guys energized. I don't ever hear the crowd, and for me to hear them on the headset, it talks to how loud they were.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to the kids. It helps us, throughout a game, and then if they're there and they're loud and they're cheering, it has a huge impact on our team. I think just the encouragement of it sometimes at some points. So, the more people we can get out there, the louder we can be. It's homecoming, so come and support them and the whole festivities in general, and just come out and have a fun time, and hopefully we put something on the field that'll give you something to cheer about and be proud of, and you can yell for us.
Coach, question to you, sir. What do you want to see out of your guys Friday night besides a good W?
Good energy, good energy, good focus. Don't worry about all the distractions. Don't worry about who we're playing. Focus on us and what kind of football team we are, and to build off last week, to not let that, like I said earlier, don't let that be the peak of what we were as a football team. Let that be the launching pad of what we are as a football team, and that's really what I want to see. I want to just see some good, clean football. Go out and execute. Have some energy, enthusiasm about you, and have fun out there while you're doing it.
Take care of business and give an opportunity for some of these guys that bust their rumps every week in practice to get on the football field.
Yeah, they got to. If those guys, they ain't getting out there if we ain't playing well.
Yeah.
So they want some other guys to get out there. They play well for your buddies.
Coach Hopper, Coach Gleaton, thank you guys for coming to the Bearcat Den. Best of luck on Friday night. Coach Stiff, thank you, sir, as always, for coming into the Bearcat Den. That's going to wrap up the Bearcat Den for this week from Pasquale's Pizza here in Coleman. We'll be back next Wednesday night from 5:30 until 6:30 here in the Bearcat Den. We will see you at Oliver Woodard Stadium on Friday night for homecoming as we welcome in the Columbia Eagles. For Coach Hopper, Coach Gleaton, and Coach Stiff, I'm Tommy Warhurst saying so long, and thanks for listening to the Bearcat Den on Coleman's Live 95.
Hey, Coleman drivers. Are you tired of the hassle and confusion when it comes to buying a car? Well, we've got fantastic news for you. Meet Adam Aker at Mitch Smith Chevrolet in Coleman, your go-to guy for a no-nonsense car buying experience.
Hey, folks. Adam here. Buying a car shouldn't be stressful. That's why at Mitch Smith Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on transparency, trust, and there's never any BS at MS.
That's right. Adam Aker and the Mitch Smith Chevrolet team are changing the game.
I live and breathe Coleman, just like you. So when you step into our showroom, you're not just another customer, you're family. Together, we'll find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Remember, Adam Aker, Mitch Smith